Hey guys, wanted to show you how to install some of our side steps on your Revel that you've got. The Revel has some factory brackets and steps on there, so if you're looking to replace those with our steps, it's actually really simple. You can use the brackets that are already on there, just take off the steps, and we've got some brackets that help adapt that to it, but we'll get into that in a second. What comes in the box with you is the side steps broken down into 2 pieces so we can ship them to you. There's some bayonets to put those together, brackets to hold them together, all the hardware needed, all of the brackets and the nuts and bolts to mount to the van itself, and a couple of Allen wrenches. All you'll need is 9/16 deep well sockets and an open-end wrench, box wrench, and some Loctite. Let's dive in and I'll show you guys how to get these mounted up on your van. So to start out, grab the 2 side pieces. The passenger side pieces are the long ones that have the plate. The driver side has a shorter plate in it. Take some of the cardboard from your packaging, pro tip, and lay that out on the ground just to keep the finish nice on that. And then you're also gonna need to grab one of the bayonets and then one of the joining plates, 4 of your 1/4-20 screws, 2 of the hex head bolts, and then I believe 10 of the 3/8/16 Allen heads. These are to plug the holes that aren't used for the Revel brackets as well. So first thing you want to do is get the bayonet here installed. We'll do one side at a time. Make sure you take your Loctite and Loctite all the hardware that you're putting together on this guy. Okay, then you take the second piece, same thing. You want to leave these guys a little bit loose for the time being. Helps once you get them all in there, you can hold the seam real tight together and then tighten them up. Start out with them being a little bit loose. Makes it go together a little easier. Next, you're gonna take your backer plate and these 2 bolts and get it set in place and tighten them down. Make sure you also get Loctite on these bolts. You don't wanna make sure that that bottom seam is nice and even as you're tightening these down. Next up is to get the brackets mounted to your Revel brackets. These are the ones that come from Winnebago already on your van when you take off the other steps. These are our brackets that mount to the holes. There's carriage bolts, so you go carriage bolt through in here, a washer, and then a nylock. This second one through in here. So we're gonna get all these brackets put on, and you wanna leave them a little bit loose. You'll see there's some pill slot adjustment kind of in all directions in there. So we'll get these on there snug, but you wanna leave them loose so when you get your side step on, it'll all even itself out and then come back and tighten everything down. So we'll get these snugged up. Next, for the Revel steps specifically, all of these holes on the backside here won't be used, so you want to plug them up so that we don't get any water or anything in there. So there is these 3/8/16 button heads. Again, you still want to Loctite these guys just so they don't vibrate loose, but little Loctite and plug up all of these holes. The next thing to do is get it bolted up onto your van. One thing I really love to do is get all the hardware kind of positioned out where it's gonna go, 2 bolts at each, and then get your socket ready and then mount it up. You can do this by yourself. You're gonna wanna like rest it on your knees and really make sure you got your stuff lined out. A second set of hands definitely makes it easier. If you got a buddy or somebody you can convince to come help you, but you can do it by yourself, and I will show you how. So right here, you kind of squat down, you want to just rest it on your knees. Because the brackets are already on the van, there's a place to set it. So you've really got a pretty stable place here. Once you get them on, You want to feel underneath in the bracket with your finger and make sure that the pill slot and the nut are lined up. You want to get one of these guys started. You're gonna remember which ones these are because you got to pull these ones back out and get them Loctited once we get a little farther on. But I like to just get a couple of them in here to hold it in place while I'm doing the rest of them. So again, make sure you're Loctite all these bolts. Then just gonna work our way down and get all these snugged up. What we're gonna do is tighten all of the bolts, these ones coming up into that, and then we're gonna come back, make sure we liked where it's positioned, and then tighten the brackets down that we'd previously installed. So the bolts on here first. Once you get all of the bolts up into the step tight, it's time to come back and do the bolts in the bracket. You'll see that this thing has a tendency to want to lean down, so you're going to want to pick it up and push it in as tight to the van as you can. Again, there's some adjustment in there that kind of helps with any of those brackets not being perfectly straight, but just get it where you like it, push it back into the van as far as you can, and then tighten up these bracket bolts. Right on, that's it, simple as that. Once you get them bolted up, I'm gonna hop on, make sure they feel solid, double check you didn't miss anything. These side steps don't interfere with any of the OEM Revel stuff, your exhaust, any of the water tank stuff that's under there. They just bolt straight up. Super easy. If you got questions, if you got something unique about your van, or you just are curious about something we didn't cover, hit us up at customer service. Our guys would love to help out and answer any questions you have. And yeah, thanks for watching.